Hey everybody, welcome to Outside with Jeff. Today we're going to go ahead and remove these cabbage leaves, and as you can tell, they did not head, but all is not wasted. We need to get this pulled out because soon we're going to be planting watermelons here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pull these leaves because the leaves are just as edible as the heads are. So let's get to picking. You'll just snap them off at the stem. Now if I wasn't wanting to get something else planted right here quickly, I could just leave these to go a little longer. But as you can see, got some nice cabbage leaves there. These will cook down just as good as if it was a head of cabbage. Let's go ahead and get the rest of these harvested. Not everything you do in the garden is always going to go as planned. Sometimes you just have to be willing to compromise and make the best of a situation. In this case, I'm not willing to give it the extra 30 days and risk it turning too hot and bolting and going to seed. I would much rather focus and move on to the next crop, which is going to be getting some watermelons planted here. Because as you'll find out later on in the season, my kids love fresh watermelon. They like cabbage too, but I bet you can guess, if they were given the choice of what they'd rather have, sauteed cabbage and garlic or a nice juicy watermelon, I think you know which one they would go for. Now as you see, as we move along this row, this one has received quite a bit more of bug damage. I'm gonna go ahead and leave that leaf on there. We never sprayed these cabbages with anything, and that's why they were attacked, probably by some type of worm or something. But hey, they've got to eat too, so that's okay. This was the early Dutch variety. But given the odd weather we've had this spring season, we had a warm spell and then it turned off super cold and we had a couple late freezes. It just didn't take off like I would have liked. Now this one here is starting to form a head. I'm going to bring you in close to let you see that. This one right here is as close to a head of cabbage as we're going to get this spring. Now, our fall cabbage last year did quite well. For a first time growing it, that is. I planted it the second week of August, and they made it all winter. I harvested a couple heads in November, and then we harvested a couple more heads in December. We didn't really have a very harsh winter, so we were able to overwinter quite a few of our crops. And go ahead and tear this little head off. See what we got. No bug damage. Those leaves are a little more ate up by bugs than I'd prefer, so I'm gonna leave them. I've got one more small cabbage over here on the other perimeter garden, but I'll harvest that off camera. It was mixed in with our broccoli, so one of those things. They look very similar when they're young, so when I was planting these cabbages out, I misread one as being a other kind of brassica. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video here. I just want your takeaway from this video should be, not everything you do in the garden is necessarily going to be an all-out success, but don't let that stop you from trying. This was only my second time trying to grow cabbage. It was my first cabbage failure, but I'm just going to keep going and see if I can grow from, what's happened here. I really believe that it was caused due to the weather, and I possibly could have planted them a little late. I started this seed indoors at the beginning of February. Perhaps if I would have started it indoors in January, I would have had a different outcome. But either way, don't let a failure in the garden deter you from continuing to garden. Gardening's a passion of mine, and I hope it'll become a passion of yours too. Be sure to like this video, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel, and thank you very much. You have a great day. See you later.